Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be going over how to win games in Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 1. If you guys have played or watched Fortnite at all since the release of Chapter 2, I'm sure you're well aware that a ton of things have changed. However, for some odd reason, Fortnite has yet to release any kind of patch notes that tell players what's actually different now. But luckily, a bunch of people have come together over the past few days and by sharing information, have basically created their own set of patch notes which seem to be 100% accurate. And honestly, there are a bunch of things on here that are super important in regards to winning games that a lot of people probably haven't even noticed have changed yet. So we'll discuss all of those, as well as some other general tips for winning games, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first absolutely massive and very important change to Fortnite in Chapter 2 Season 1 was actually to the loot pool. Based on this list, it appears that a whopping 29 weapons / items / vehicles were vaulted at the very beginning of the season, and that's obviously insane. I'm not going to read off all 29 because that would honestly take like a solid minute, but I'll put the full list on the screen right now, and then we'll talk about how the really important vaults impact Fortnite at various times throughout this video. Along with the 29 vaults, you also have 4 different weapons which were unvaulted. The white, purple, and gold versions of the pump shotgun, the burst assault rifle, which is more commonly called the FAMAS, the regular SMG, and the purple and gold P90s. Finally, on top of all that, there were also some new versions or types of weapons that were added into the game as well. There's now a white and green rarity RPG, a new purple and gold rarity of the Burst AR, which players are calling the AUG, new purple and gold variants of the regular pistol, and finally you have the Bandage Bazooka, which is the first weapon in Fortnite history that takes up 2 inventory slots. So the gist of what happened here is that Fortnite totally cleaned up the loot pool. People have constantly complained about this since about Season 7, that there were simply too many useless / annoying weapons and items in the game. Especially in the beginning of matches, that would make RNG way more important than it needed to be, even in a Battle Royale game. And honestly, there was a lot of truth to that. There are also a few other interesting changes to chests that are really important to know. The first is that chests finally have a 100% spawn rate in regular Battle Royale game modes. That means if a certain building has 3 chest spawns in one game you play, it will have the same 3 chest spawns in every game you play. This takes away another huge RNG aspect of looting in Fortnite, and it's definitely one of my favorite changes. Also, there's now a new type of chest and a new type of ammo box in Fortnite. They're both a dark bluish color, and apparently the chest gives a guaranteed purple or gold rarity weapon, and the new ammo box, along with giving a lot of ammo, also has a high chance to drop a shield item. And finally, certain weapons that used to only drop in floor loot can now also come out of chests. The 2 biggest examples of this are the pump shotguns and the RPGs. So I think all of these changes to looting make it so that you no longer need to land at a super huge town to get really good loot. In the last few seasons, even when I was seriously trying to get wins, I'd be scared to land at a safe area towards the outside of the map if it only had something like 6 to 7 chest spawns. Because odds are only about 3 to 4 of those chests would actually spawn, and even with opening the ones that did spawn, because the loot pool was so bad, you still had a really high chance to walk away with a horrible inventory. But now that chests spawn 100% of the time, and there's way less useless weapons / items in the loot pool, I would say that getting materials is actually more of a problem than getting good loot. So that's why I think outskirts / less populated areas are absolute money now if you're playing for wins, because you'll still walk away with really solid loot while also having plenty of time to farm up your materials. Moving on, the next thing I want to talk about is the brand new map in Chapter 2 and how it affects winning games. One of the biggest complaints that players have regarding the new map is that just like last season, you have this really huge map and almost no forms of mobility available in the game. Launch pads, the Batman grappler, shockwaves, bouncers, and driftboards were all vaulted at the beginning of the season, and as of right now, the only fast travel option in the game is the new boat vehicle. So if you take a look at the map, which I'll throw on the screen right now, you'll see a bunch of skinny streams of water, which I guess are supposed to be rivers, and almost all of them lead towards the big body of water with the island in the middle, smack dab in the center of the map. Since these boats are the only mobility option in the entire game, you have to be aware that pretty much every source of water is going to be a hotspot for fights. It's kind of like how in Season 7, areas where planes spawn were always super contested, and you were pretty much guaranteed to get third-partied if you actually fought there. Now, it definitely isn't as bad as that because boats are nowhere near as powerful and desired as planes were, but still, if you're someone playing for wins, unless you need to use a boat to rotate out of the storm, you should try to avoid any of these river or ocean-esque areas whenever possible. Because when you take a fight there, it's only going to be a matter of time until a third party hears that, rides their boat to you, and now you need to fight 2 different teams instead of just 1. The next thing I want to talk about in this video is the new upgrading weapons feature in Fortnite. For those of you unaware, you can now upgrade the rarity of a weapon you choose in exchange for materials, and the way you do this is by finding an upgrade bench which are located in various different POIs throughout the map, and I'll throw an image on the screen right now that shows all those locations. Here's the material cost of upgrading any weapon depending on its rarity. Going from white to green will cost you 50 of each material, so obviously 150 total. Going from green to blue will cost 150 of each material. Blue to purple is 250 of each material. And finally, purple to gold is 350 of each material. So even though I think this is a really cool feature, at the current cost, I personally don't see many situations where I would actually recommend upgrading. With the current farming rate in regular Fortnite games, materials are just so hard to come by the majority of the time, and having a lot of materials is so important when it comes to winning. Are there some weapons where upgrading from blue to purple or purple to gold makes the weapon considerably more powerful? Yeah, definitely. And maybe if the cost was 300 or 400 total materials, I'd say, that's a little pricey, but you know what, just go for it. But 1,050 to go from purple to gold is just absurd, and 750 to go from blue to purple really isn't that much better. Again, there may be some niche situations where it is viable. I guess in squads you could just take like 60 to 70 of each material type from all 4 players, and I guess that doesn't seem that bad. And in arena with a faster farming rate, you could recover the materials you use much quicker. But in regular solos or duos, I advise never using this feature with the way it currently is. The final thing I want to quickly mention in this video is actually fishing. Believe it or not, fishing can actually be very rewarding if you're in need of health or shield. Here's a quick little image that shows all the fish as well as what they heal, max carry stack, and amount of time it takes to consume them. As you can see, especially the flopper and slurp fish are incredibly powerful. If you can get a stack of 3 slurp fish, for example, you can go from 50 health to 200 health in roughly 3 to 4 seconds, and that's obviously way better than any other healing item in the entire game. Now obviously, fishing keeps you exposed and is kinda boring, but it definitely is a very viable looting tactic in a lot of situations. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down in the comment section below. I want to know, do you guys have a win yet in Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 1? And if so, how many wins do you have? Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.